Welcome back guys to another video by Motion, and today we'll be talking about One Piece chapter 1164. This chapter should have been titled Domi Reverse Size, actually too good. Before moving on to the chapter, I would like to request every one of you watching to please consider liking and subscribing to our channel Motion. This really helps us make even more videos and motivates us to work even more harder for you guys. So please be sure to do all of that, and now let's get back into the main chapter. This chapter is also a part of the flashback of God Valley, and this chapter is pretty interesting because it consists of various things which include fight battles as well as lore piece. So let's start with some juicy lores that were given to us in this chapter, and that is that Davy Jones, Davy D Jones, was actually the main ruler of the One Piece world, or the former ruler of the One Piece world before Imu took over. And this was provided to us by none other than Rox D while he was being Domi Riverside by Imu. That was pretty awesome to see that he just doesn't care being controlled or Domi Riverside at that point of time. He was still making Imu angry with his words of fury. Although he did pay for that at the end of the chapter, but we'll get to that later. Rox didn't just tell us about Davy D Jones, he also mentioned Joy Boy in there too. We all know that Joy Boy was the first pirate of the One Piece world, so we could assume that Davy D Jones was some kind of rival to him or some kind of ruler that had quite a few weird type of connections to Joy Boy. Maybe they were just friends and Imu was just something else. And one more thing that was mentioned in the last chapter, that was Imu was being referred to as a rat king by Rox D and if you Google up the image of a rat king, you could see a lot of rats being tied around with their tails. This could imply that Imu is actually a combination of various kings of the world that actually won the fight during the Void Century. And the person Narona Imu was the person to hold all the souls or all the powers of the kings that won the war during Void Century. And this theory came up in the last chapter during this mention of a rat king by Rox, and it is going on very wild after this chapter. You could find a lot more information about this theory in places such as Reddit or X. We could also make a future video about this theory after the ending of the God Valley flashback or during any kind of break week. And then after this, we see Rox being transformed by Domi Riverside into a demon kind of thing. He grew large fangs as well as got a eye color change. His transformation is quite different from what we've seen till date from people such as Dory or Brogy. Now after the transformation of Rox D into a demon, he firstly attacks Kaido, who is being transformed. And we could see that Big Mom was right in front of Rox, but he still decided to go after Kaido, as we could imply that Imu's order was to erase the will of the Davy. So we could imply that Kaido has somewhat relation to the Davy clan, or his dragon form has a connection with the Davy clan because he was transformed into a dragon due to his devil fruit. Or it could be because he's an Oni and maybe the Onis do have a connection with the Davy clan. Or maybe it was because Oda just wanted to draw that Rox could jump up so high and he could just use Kaido like a swing rope that Luffy used during their fight too. After that, we saw Rox actually knocking out Big Mom in a single hit, and with that, he then clashed with Whitebeard in an epic double face spread that broke one of the mountains we could see in the God Valley photos in all over across the internet. After that, Rox turned his attention to his wife and his son. Both of them are part of the Davy clan and probably the last remaining members of the Davy clan. So the final will of the Davy remains within them. And as Rox's wife saw Rox in his state, she cried out and apologized to Rox because he was not ready yet to take on Imu. Now this is a very interesting line to put in thought, that what could be the meaning of this line? Was Rox actually doing some kind of ritual to get stronger? Because as we know, Rox is pretty strong. Imu's strength is in a different level. Probably Rox was learning some kind of technique, or he needed some time to actually go or bypass Imu's regeneration ability, because till date we have not seen a single person permanently hurt someone with that regeneration ability. Goddamn, in the last chapter we could see a hugely big combo attack, probably the biggest combo attack in the whole One Piece story yet, and that did nothing to Imu, showing how strong Imu is and how good his regeneration ability is. So probably Rox was making some kind of technique or learning some kind of technique to actually hurt Imu permanently. Moving on from that, we see that the Marines saw Blackbeard and his mom and they were about to annihilate them. At the same time, Rox was about to hit them with his big old sword. It is not because Rox is pretty big, but anyone who is being Domi Riverside is actually gets a huge growth in size as well as power. Now, at this nick of moment, we see the hero of the One Piece world, Kuma, jumps out of the wilderness and uses his newly acquired Pop-Up Fruit power to transport both of them away. At the same time, he also transported himself too. It's always good to see Kuma doing stuff, and we know what terrible life he's going to have in the future, and it is very sad to see that this guy was actually the only person in the whole island that saved the most amount of the people, and even after doing all that, he never got a life that he well-known deserved. We also cut to somewhere else in the island there where we can see Captain John waking up after the hit from Ganzui, and so Ganzui actually being defeated by none other than Shiki, who just took a few of the treasure chest from Ganzui and has the best devil fruit in his arsenal to run away from the whole God Valley attack. But at the same time, it is pretty disappointing to see that we never got any Shiki related big fights, because I was really invested in the Golden Lion Shiki and was really hoping that we get to see some of his epic fights. And at the ending of the chapter, we could see Roger and Garp teaming up to take on Rox, and at the same time, Rox was probably telepathically connected to them or was using the voice of all things to talk to Garp and Roger and told both of them to kill him. And he was also crying and weeping at this moment of time because he could not stop his physical body. The only thing he could do is to beg both Rox and Roger to put an end to his misery. That is quite sad to see. And Emo was watching all of this and enjoying every second of it. This was probably one of the wildest chapter of this year. And it is also pretty funny to think that this whole flashback started with King Herald, and right now we have no clue where he actually is. This is it for today's video. I hope that all of you guys actually enjoyed this video, and if you even like this video a bit, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel Anymotion. Share this video with your fellow One Piece as well as anime fans. That is it. I'm out. Peace.